All right, good evening, viewers. Welcome to the very first episode of Unbiased Box with El Lobo, featuring El Lobo. My very first guest. It's a pleasure to have on the show one of the top welterweight fighters in the world, Mr. Abel Ramos. Good to meet you, sir. And Coach Ephraim. Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet
Thank
you
you for having
guys.
us, man. I got you a gift.
Oh,
Team Ramos, Abel Ramos
oh,
gear.
what? Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna hold it up for the viewers to see. Let's get it. Let's get it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. And for the rest of the show, I'm gonna work at.
All right, that's good.
There we go. Good. We rocking. We rocking. Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and get started, man. As your fans know, your last fight was February of this year. I'll start off with saying, how have you been? How's your family been? How have you been, since?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been staying in the gym, training, just waiting for the next fight, man, and enjoying the family as well.
Oh, awesome. Now, I know a lot of times after your fights, you like to go on vacation. Did you go anywhere special this year?
Yeah, I went to Mexico, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
Just me and my girlfriend, man, and some family from Mexico.
Yeah.
So
How often you go out there for?
I try to go like after every fight. I've been going.
Yeah.
So yeah, after every fight, I like to take a little vacation just to let the mind rest.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome, man. Awesome. Do you try to go on vacation after every fight? Is that something that you kind of get a routine of doing?
Yeah, that's what I tend to do, man. Just to relax the mind a little bit, get away from the boxing a little bit.
Yeah.
Rest the body.
Yeah, that's I think that's very important. Definitely. So, Coach, are you the oldest brother?
I'm the second.
The second oldest?
Yeah.
Oh man, how many brothers and siblings? How many siblings do you guys have?
Five brothers and two sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are you guys all into boxing, or just
Just the boys.
just the boys? Oh man, and we'll go back from the beginning. Like, how did you guys start? Like, were you a fighter or?
Yeah, I used to fight amateur.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
me and my older brother.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Started
awesome.
that.
That's awesome. And then, how old were you when you first started seeing them, compete and stuff?
We were little, man. I remember I have little memories, of them fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They used to be really good.
Yeah.
My Chewy and Nathan, they used to be really good amateurs.
Oh, wow. So when you started, prior to you starting on your own, did you, were you fighting a lot at school? Were you getting in trouble, or just boxing was just something that you just picked up watching your brothers?
Yeah, man. No, I didn't really have any fights at school. I was real quiet, just real calm, man. Just from boxing and watching them box since early age, and then we used to watch every fight back then. Every pay-per-view fight we used to have. Family gatherings and everything.
I hear you. So, what was it like getting hit in the face for the first time? I know you're at a young age. Your first sparring session. How was that experience? Because out of all the sports you guys chose, this is probably the toughest sport in the world.
Yeah.
So to get into it at a young age, it's like, whoa, what did I get myself into? How was that very first session?
Yeah, it was good, man. I mean, we were kids at the time, when we started, and we used to spar with my brother and cousins and friends.
Yeah.
So it was more like a game to us. It wasn't really like, I'm getting punched or anything like that. I'm a kid. So I think that's the best time to start in boxing. When you start when you're older, the punches are gonna hurt a lot more.
Man, what? Man, I'm already knowing. Definitely.
So you get a little more scared, but when you're a kid, you see it as a game, just a sport, and
right.
That's what it should be.
Okay. Now, when did you guys know that? Like, when did you decide? At what age or what age group did you decide? Oh, this is what I want to do full time.
Man, I mean, since I was little, I think I started competing at 13 years old.
Yeah.
But back then it was just a dream. It was just a little, just to stay busy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Get in shape. I was really fat too. I was a little kid, so So that was motivated me to stay in shape.
I got you.
But maybe after 16 years old, I remember I went into a tournament, and I think the open division was 17 or some. I was 15 actually, 15, and then 17 was the open division.
Right.
And then I went into that tournament, and my brother, I remember, he said, "No, just put him in the open class with the big guy." And I remember I fought a 20-year-old guy that had just come from nationals, and I beat him, man. And I beat him. So there, I was like, man, I've got the talent to do it, So
how many fights did you have at the time?
I probably had around maybe 30, 40 fights.
Okay.
Because we used to fight a lot back then.
Yeah,
too. There used to be fights every week.
I was getting busy.
Yeah.
I was getting busy. Did you guys go out of state a lot?
Yeah, we went to California, Vegas, stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay, bad. Okay, Coach, how is it the dynamic brother, trainer, fighter? How does that go? Because a lot of times, off the top of my head, you got Robert and Mikey Garcia as the brother, the duos. But sometimes family dynamics don't necessarily work, especially in this game. You have, definitely the father son that could be, that they can cause certain type of stress within the relationship, within the fight game. How do you separate that? How when you're training Abel, how do you separate that family piece by and at the same time being professional and going about his career as you went about it?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's kind of easy, because I know I want to see all my life. So we kind of when we work together, I kind of forget it's my brother, because he needs to follow instructions. It's gonna be hard on him too,
Right.
But it's I think it works better for me.
Definitely. Now I can't
train my brother, my own brother.
Oh, definitely. And I can't say I feel like the Ramos, you guys have a great relationship. Like it flows really smoothly. You guys, I see you guys do mid work. It flows really well. You guys have that chemistry that not a lot of. I haven't seen that very often in the sport of boxing. I watch a lot of boxing, so I can really appreciate watching you guys work. And I'm like, oh yeah, they have a good bond. They have a good bond. Now upcoming when Abel was an amateur coming up, what was your training style? Did you guys watch a lot of film? Was it a lot of strength and conditioning? How did you start off coaching? Was Abel your first person you coached, or did you have other people you had under you?
We had more fighters, but Abe was the one that made it more for in the amateurs. He went all the way to nationals. Was ranked number 3 in the nation. So we were hoping to get him to Olympics, but his style was more like a professional style.
Right, he definitely is. Definitely.
And that's what we work more on style, on our professional style.
Right.
That's where we focus more on the training.
Now, when you were coming up, who were some fighters that you watched? Who, when you're looking at tape, looking at people fighting, who were some of the fighters that were like, I want to take that aspect from him? Who were some of them?
Oh man, there was a lot. I think I watched. It would be just like depending on what I wanted to watch. I used to watch a lot of Roy Jones Jr., Shane Mosley when he was De La Hoya, Chavez.
Yeah.
I used to look tape on. I used to watch tape on all of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right after school, I remember when we first got internet at the house, man. And YouTube was real big. Yeah, that's all I did, man. Just come from school, watch the tape, go train.
Oh, he wasn't even doing no homework. He was just watching tape, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, I wasn't really I mean, yeah, I was learning, but I think I was just more enjoying more the fights, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was a big part of my childhood, watching tapes. All the fighters.
And I can't say from watching you have a lot of similarities to Chavez, cutting off the ring, using your range, coming in, head movement. It's a lot. I see that you watch a lot of Chavez growing up because I see it in your game. So keep it up, man. Good work.
Thank you.
Good work. This is for Coach. Coach, when you're preparing for a fight, and I understand you're doing film study on a particular opponent, how many different game plans do you try to implement? Because I hear a lot of coaches, they say, we want to plan A through Z for a fighter. Then you have other coaches that say, oh, we want, 1 or 2 plans because we don't want to confuse our fighter. So how, with the chemistry you have with Abel, how do you game plan? Like, what's your game plan look like?
Well, it's like A and B, I guess, for me. I don't like to do more than 2 game plans.
Right.
In a fight. You do more than 2 plans, something's going on there.
Yeah.
Something's not working.
I hear you.
But we do we try to keep our game plan like AA, our first plan. We try to keep that in the fight. If something happens, then we go to plan B. But we like to stick to plan A. We do study the opponents too. We like to see what they have, what their mistakes that they make, and everything like that. We get like in a group and see all the mistakes.
Now, Abel, I know, like we said before, your last fight was in February. So, what's next? Like, I know there's a lot of buzz about, August, October, by the end of the year. What's your future goals? Do you plan on fighting one time this year or another time? Like, what does that look like for the rest of 2022?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely hoping to get another fight. Hopefully by August. That's what they've been telling us right now.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hitting the gym right now. I'm setting my sight on August.
Yeah.
Just training, and then we'll see, man. But definitely get another fight this year.
For sure. Good deal. Now with what you guys are telling me, you've been fighting a long time. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring. At this stage right now, what still keeps you motivated?
Man, just making that dream a reality, man. To be a world champ. That's the thing that I want the most right now. And yeah, man. Every time I get up, that's the thing I have in my mind. And of course, man, just to leave my mark in boxing,
Right.
just to leave those exciting fights and fight the best, fight the best, man. Because, like I said, watching tapes of legendary fighters, man, I would always watch the fights when they went to war, man. When they were
Yeah,
close fights,
definitely.
because that's what got me going.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to leave in the sport too, man. I want kids to, hey, man, remember this fight with Abel?
Yeah.
Exciting fights, man. That's what I want to do.
Definitely. And I will say, I believe I've known you for about 3 years. Seeing you in the gym every day, you're one of the hardest workers I've seen. Like your work ethic, you're not about the BS. You come here to work. You work hard. I can definitely appreciate that. And at the how long have you been doing it and still being at that high level? It's incredible, man. Like, I wish you all the success, bro. Like, you really be I try to work hard, and then when I see you, it's like, oh, it kind of, he works hard. I gotta do it. And I'm sure the young amateurs, they look at you, they feel the same way. Like, Abel, he worked his butt off. Like, he really, so keep it up, bro. I think that's one of the big things I could take away from watching you work. You don't say much, but them fists, they be doing the talking. Now with the landscape of the welterweight division, as we know, you're ranked in the top 15 welterweight in WBC. What's your opinion on? We know who the top guys are, obviously, with the belt. You got Errol Spence, you got Terrence Crawford. Those are the top guys. You fought Ugas was the top guy. There was a fight. There was negotiation with you and Thurman. Just those top guys. But then, you have the young prospects. You got the Ennis Boots. He's coming up. You got the Virgil Ortiz. How do you feel at your stage in your career? Like, are you excited? Is it, because you're at like a bridge where you're still like 1 or 2 fights away from getting a big fight. But at the same time, you got some young, hungry lions on, they trying to get in your position. What is your take on, basically the whole landscape?
And it's exciting, man. I think there's some exciting fights coming up, man, for the welterweight division. I'm just gonna do my best and try my hardest to be involved in those great fights,
Yeah.
And I feel like the title's right there, man. Like,
Yeah.
I wanna. That's another thing that keeps me motivated, man. That I'm right there. Like, it's just for me to take it.
Yeah,
So
bro. Yeah.
I'm push a little harder, and of course, man. There's a lot of young talent out there. Some young lions coming up, man. I think there's always gonna be those young people in boxing.
Yeah.
As soon as those guys make it to the top, there's gonna be another.
Yeah. So it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think right now it's just looking at what's best for us, man. Looking at what fights are going to be better for us, and I mean, yeah, man, just fight the best, man. That's what I'm all
Yeah.
about.
Okay. Definitely. And then I know, I think about this, and I get frustrated too. When you fought Ugas, you had Ugas hurt a couple of times. Like, that was a really, really good competitive fight. And then a few fights later, he fights Manny Pacquiao. So if you'd have beat Ugas, bro, man, I'm like, whoa. Like, I think about it, I'm like, he's right there.
Yeah,
You're still right now, you're right there. Like, you're still in your prime. You still work hard. So definitely, I really look forward to how the rest of your career goes. And I definitely hope you get that opportunity, because you definitely work hard. And then like I said, you're right there, right there. Looking at, I've been watching you a long time. Even before I met you, I've been a fan of you. And you've always, even in press conferences, you've always been real respectful. Not a lot of trash talk. I mean, with you and Figueroa, there's a little bit during the post conference, little stuff like that. Has there ever been a fighter that gotten under your skin that you fought in the past that it was like, that kind of maybe he was talking too much, or he was maybe saying too much on his social media that you got word of, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna really try to punish this dude?
Yeah, I mean, I think not a lot of fighters can get do that to me, man. I mean, I'm really real chill, man. So like
Definitely,
comments
yeah.
like that,
Yeah,
they never like bother me.
yeah,
But I think the closest one would be Perella, man.
yeah,
Because I mean he they had like a little press conference I remember, and I mean I wasn't invited. It was him, and then I think Caleb Plant was the main event there, so it was just them, and he went off talking.
top man.
Yeah, I mean, but I wasn't there, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, people was just like sending me videos, and that
Yeah.
got me a little
yeah,
bothered.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, man, I don't really let that stuff get to me.
And Brian paid for it, by the way.
Yeah,
He paid for it.
yeah, he did.
He paid for it. Knowing what you know now, you've been in the business of boxing. You have the next fight will be your 35th fight. Going back, if you could go back to your pro debut, what would you tell yourself? Like, what advice would you, whether it's business, whether it's training aspect, what would you tell yourself from the young you that started out? What was some of the advice that you would tell yourself?
That's a good question, man. I mean, there's a lot of advice I would give myself back then, but
Just one.
I think one would be just be patient, man.
Yeah.
Because I think at the time I remember when I came out of the amateurs, I thought it was going to be easy. Going into the pros, I was like, oh, how hard can it be,
Yeah.
to get fights? But it was real hard for us, man, to
Yeah.
get fights and to get in. We didn't have any connections back then. It was just we were just starting off, and
Yeah, and I'm sure
nobody
it was-
had heard from boxers from Casa Grande.
Yeah,
nobody was like looking out.
Right.
So just to be patient, man. Because I remember I was taking fights that I shouldn't have taken early in my career.
Yeah.
Like I fought Hooker, my eighth
Maurice,
fight.
yeah.
Maurice Hooker.
Yeah.
Future world champ at the time.
Definitely.
Fought Regis Prograis,
Yeah.
future world champ.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
fought Ivan Baranchik too, man. And I didn't make any money in those
Yeah.
fights, man. And
Oh man.
that could have been bigger fights for me with bigger pay. But and I think that was something that just to be patient that the fights were going to come eventually.
That makes sense. That's a good advice you would take. That. Yeah, that's definitely. Now bringing up Maurice, Regis, you're at 140, if I remember correctly. You started off at 140. You transitioned up to 147. Do you see yourself, maybe in the long run, a couple of years, possibly going to 54, or maybe right now is not the time to think about it. You're comfortable at the weight, but most fighters, they don't stay at the same weight. They might go 3, 4, 5 weight classes over, especially as they get older. Their bodies are, reacting differently. Do you see yourself going up to 54?
I'll see, man. It all depends. But right now, 47, I think I'm making the weight pretty easy.
Yeah.
I can still make it, but whatever the body feels, man. If I feel like I can make 47 anymore, then
Yeah.
I'll bump up to 54.
For sure. Side note, I think you and Danny Garcia would be a good fight. He was talking about moving up to
Yeah.
54, but I don't know what he's got going on. But you and him would be definitely a good fight. I know you were supposed to fight Josecito Lopez. After his last performance, I don't know if he would retire or what, but I always believed that was going to be a dog fight.
Yeah.
And then based on his last performance, you would have got him up out of there.
Yeah.
Based on his last performance, bro, you would have got him up out of there. But definitely, I was definitely looking forward to you and Thurman. That fight, I thought that was going to be a barn burner. But yeah, I guess, like you said, we'll have to see. But as far as, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to see, man. But there's definitely some good fights out there
Oh, yeah.
that we can make. Make them a classic boxing
Yeah,
match. Just the
definitely.
wars.
Definitely. Do you have any? What was a fight that you've had in your pro career that was like, damn, like that sucker was tough?
Yeah, I think the toughest fight for me would have to been the Ivan Baranchik fight, man. That was a
That's a
war.
tough dude.
That was a war, man. Everything was tested in that day in me. I think I found out a lot about myself in that fight.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
brings out the best.
And
in
it was my last fight at 142, man. Because of that, because I remember just killing myself to make that weight. And then we were fighting for like an IBF eliminator thing, so you couldn't gain more than 10 pounds the next day.
Yeah, but I know how it goes. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
or
couldn't
get fined. Huh?
I couldn't
Yeah.
rehydrate like I usually
Yeah.
do, and I couldn't eat as much. And I think it affected me a lot, man. Like by the fourth round, I remember just being like, just feeling it in my body.
Yeah.
And but I pushed through it, and that's I did a lot of growing in the fight, and I learned a lot about myself.
As far as right now, who are your favorite fighters right now? Who do you enjoy watching?
Right now, there's a couple, man. I like Gervonta Davis. I like his explosiveness. I like Pitbull Cruz too, man. He's pretty good. I like his style.
He's a dog, man.
And Chocolatito Gonzalez, man. You can never go wrong.
Yeah, for sure, man. Them little
that
dudes
guy's
can get busy.
Yeah, that
Get
guy's
busy.
good, man. Who else? Like, what's his name? That Japan guy from Japan.
Oh, Inoue?
Monster, yeah.
Inoue is
Monster,
tough.
yeah.
He is tough. He is tough. All of them got fights coming up, especially Tank fighting Broly this weekend. How you see that fight going?
Man, I think Tank's gonna get him.
You gonna get him?
Yeah, he's gonna get him.
He might get him out there early, but it's gonna be interesting. Have you ever fought somebody awkward like Broly? Broly is very unconventional.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, it had me thinking like, man, and he looks big too.
He's
man,
big,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be big and awkward. I think, Tank is gonna have a little.
Yeah,
It's gonna take a little time to figure him out, but I think once he does.
Yeah. You ever sparred or fought somebody like that? Really, really unconventional. It's like, hold on now.
Yeah,
like, you have to
Figueroa, man. Figueroa.
Figueroa
came out with this,
Yeah.
I was hitting like the top of the head, and like my hands were hurting. I was like, man.
Yeah.
But once I figured him out, like it was over,
Yeah.
I knew I had him, so
That was a good fight.
So I think Tank is probably gonna have that little problem at first, but once he figures him out, I think he's gonna knock him out.
Definitely. That's all the questions I had, fellas. I appreciate you guys' time. It was a pleasure, sitting down talking with you. I know at the gym we don't say too much. We both working, but man, I appreciate the conversation, bro. Like both of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lowell.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lowell.
Yeah, thank you.